What's good, YouTube? You know who it is. Chris Jones, representing Palm Chasers. It is Sunday. We are watching the Cowboys game, 28-28. Epic fucking comeback. If you're watching this video, it is Monday. We have a Martin Luther King 20% off sale. Right now, type in MLK20 for 20% off anything at the store. Enjoy the video. It is cutting season, everybody. Hope this video helps you. We got plenty more to come. And these pullovers coming soon. Back to the game. Enjoy the video.
Let's talk macros real quick. Big, huge debate that's been going on for years. Do you have to track macros or not? Should you track macros or not? Is tracking macros necessary to lose fucking weight and get lean? And I will be the first one to tell you. I've been working out about 11 years now. I've done it all. I've done clean eating. I've done efficient macros. I've done, just eating based off how you feel. I've done all kinds of things. And I'll be the first one to tell you, whether you're tracking macros or not, you're still somewhat tracking macros. And let me explain. All right. For an example, right? Let me give you an example right here, the best way I can show you. Let's say, for an example, you do the whole 5 meals a day thing. You're a 5 meals a day guy, and you eat the same thing every day, right? Let's say I'm looking at my computer right now, so you'll see me constantly looking back and forth, okay? So let's say meal number 1, 40 grams of oatmeal, all right, dry. That means you gotta put water in it and cook it. You do 4 servings of egg whites and 3 whole eggs. So that's the first meal. 40 grams of oatmeal, 4 servings of egg whites, 3 whole eggs. Then meal number 2, 120 grams of banana, which is usually one full-size banana with the peel off. 2 scoops of GAF protein, you can get at tigerfitness.com, and 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Okay, that's meal number 2. That could be a smoothie. Put the banana, 2 scoops of protein, and almond butter in a blender and drink it, okay? Then meal number 3, 6 ounces of chicken breast cooked, 200 grams of sweet potato without the skin. Then meal number 4, 6 ounces of chicken breast, 200 grams of white rice cooked, okay? Then your final meal before bed, 300 grams of strawberries, 2 scoops of almond butter, and 1 scoop of GAF protein whey, okay? That's 5 meals. You eat this every day, right? You eat this every day, maybe have a cheat meal on Saturday, but for the most part, this is your go-to meal every day. You're not tracking any macros, okay? Now look at this. This is MyFitnessPal, by the way, guys. MyFitnessPal.com. You can track your macros using this. They even have a cell phone app, okay? Look at this. Check this out. Meal number 1, the 40 grams of oatmeal, the 4 servings of egg whites, 3 whole eggs. That is 34 grams of carbs, 17 grams of fat, and 43 grams of protein. So whether you track macros or not, you're still hitting these macros if you're eating this same meal every single day. Check it out, the banana, the protein, and the 1 tablespoon of almond butter. 37 carb, 12 fat, most of the fat coming from the almond butter, a little bit from the whey, because this is not isolate, and 55 grams of protein. Meal number 3, sweet potato and the chicken, same thing, 41 carb, only 2 grams of fat, 46 protein. Okay, right here, 57 carb. This is for the white rice and the chicken breast meal, okay? 57 carb, 2 fat, 47 protein, all right? And the final meal before bed, 1 scoop of protein, 2 tablespoons of almond butter, 300 grams of strawberries. Look at that, 34 carb, 19 fat, mostly from the almond butter, okay? And 34 grams of protein. Look at that. The whole day you took in, this is for the whole day right here, 203 grams of carbs taken for the whole day, 52 grams of fat for the whole day, 225 grams of protein for the whole day, and if you happen to give a fuck, 26 grams of fiber. The point I'm trying to make is, whether you track macros or you don't, you still have to have some type of consistency to see if shit is working. If you're dieting, you want to be in a calorie deficit, okay? So for an example, you know you want to hit 200 grams of carbs, 50 grams of fat, and 225 grams of protein. You can, one, eat the same thing every fucking day, which is the simplest way to do it. I've done that many times and I still somewhat do that. Or you can track macros if you like variety. If you like variety, you can track macros still hitting the same calories. You feel me? So that's what you gotta do. You pretty much gotta be consistent. Cause how can you honestly tell if something working if you're not doing it at least for a whole week straight? If you're not tracking macros, but one day you have 2 bowls of oatmeal for breakfast instead of 1, you have fucking 2 scoops of protein for lunch instead of 1, you're having 2 bananas instead of 1, you're just all over the fucking place, it's really hard to tell what is working, what is not. You really need to have a consistent amount of calories or macros. You need to have a consistent amount of cardio and stick with that shit for a whole week. Now, for an example, if you like a little variety. Now, before I show you the next example, these macros I just showed you was 200 carbs, 50 fats, 225 protein. 200 carb, 50 fat, 225 protein, okay? So I'm gonna show you another meal plan example hitting the same macros, okay? So for the first meal, on the last one, we had oatmeal, right? This one, we're gonna do grits instead. We're gonna do grits. We're gonna still do the eggs and the egg whites, but we're gonna do grits instead. Remember on the last one, we did banana and almond butter. We're just gonna do pineapples and protein, right? That's meal number 2. 2 scoops of whey and 4 slices. You know those circle slices that come in the can? That's what we're gonna have for our second meal. Third meal, instead of chicken, we're gonna do tilapia and we're gonna do 160 grams of sweet potato. And then for the fourth meal, we're gonna do 90-10 ground beef. Nothing else, no carbs. Instead of carbs, we're gonna do some green beans, like a salad or some green beans or some broccoli, you know, some low carb green vegetable source. Because for dinner, I wanna save those carbs for some grapes before bed. So we're gonna do 200 grams of grapes, 1 tablespoon of almond butter, and 1 scoop of protein before bed. You feel me? These are the kind of decisions you want to make when you're tracking macros. Now look, at the end of the day, we still hit 200 grams of carbs, 202, but it's close enough. We hit 54 grams of fat, not exactly 50, but still close enough. And we hit 226 protein, 17 grams of fiber. So as you see, even though the meals were slightly different than the first example, the macros and calorie intake was pretty much the same. And that's what If It Fits Your Macros is and what should be all about. A lot of people, they take If It Fits Your Macros as an opportunity to try to hit their carbs with a whole bunch of ice creams and Snicker bars and things like that. And that's not what it's about. It's pretty much what If It Fits Your Macros is pretty much about. It's not confusing things and to give you more freedom. To give you more freedom if you're one of those people who don't like to eat the same shit every fucking day. You know, you may be one of those people who like, you wake up one morning, you're not even hungry. Instead of fucking having oatmeal and eggs for breakfast, you may want to just have you a lean pocket in the microwave, you know, but you still want to stay on track. And to stay on track, you need to hit those same macros each and every day, whatever macros you're following at the time. So what's the best approach? In my humble opinion, especially if you're busy, you're a working person, you're on a budget, I think it's best to just eat the same thing every fucking day. You know, and just have variety once a week, like maybe on a Saturday, have a cheat day or some shit like that, or a cheat meal, and then get back on the grind on Sunday. You feel me? It's so much cheaper and less stressful to just look at your meal plan on your computer and say, okay, I got eggs in the morning, I got oatmeal every morning. When you go grocery shopping on Sunday, get enough food for that week, all right? You know you got fucking bananas every day for lunch. Go buy you about 7 bananas. If you got chicken breasts for your 3rd and 4th meal, go get enough chicken breasts to last you to have for your 3rd and 4th meal for the whole week and cook that shit on Sunday. If you know you got strawberries and some protein and almond butter for your fifth and final meal, get enough strawberries to last you, to get you through the week. That's the best approach, less stressful, much more simple. The only time I really recommend tracking everything is for situations where life kind of happens. And my nose is itching shit. And what I mean by life happens, how many of you guys been in a situation where you're on a diet, you're trying to do the right thing, you're tracking macros, but a friend of yours may be in town, they want to go out for breakfast at a IHOP or Denny's. Or you got a girl you want to take out on a date, but she wants to go somewhere, and you already got your meals ready for the week. That's the only time I really recommend tracking macros that day. Let me show you an example. Like I told you guys, the macros we're aiming for on this example, 200 carb, 50 grams of fat, 225 protein. Let me show you this. Alright, so let's say for an example, you're about to go to bed, right? Before you go to bed, some girl calls you. She's like, hey, it's been a while since we caught up. I'm off tomorrow. Let's go to Denny's. What the fuck you gonna do? You're gonna tell her no, I'm on a diet or some bullshit? You better not. You better not. You better go to Denny's, right? So, this is what I would do. Before I go to Denny's, I'll go to the website, see what kind of food they have. I've been to Denny's many times, so I don't have to do that. But whatever restaurant you go to the website, see what they have, and put it on your MyFitnessPal so you can track your macros. And here it is. I'll go to Denny's, get those hearty wheat pancakes. I'll get some oatmeal. I'll get some egg whites. And I'll get 2 slices of turkey bacon, right? And it tells you that's 116 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fat, and 58 grams of protein. Now check it out. Meal number 2. We got a scoop of protein, 120 grams of banana. That's usually 1 banana, right? Then we got some 90-10 ground beef, 8 ounces. Sweet potato, 220 grams of sweet potato. That's the third meal. 8 ounces of beef, sweet potato. Then the fourth meal, we're just gonna do chicken by itself, no carbs. Let me tell you why no carbs. Because we've already spent 116 grams of carbs at breakfast. We've already spent 30 grams of carbs at our second meal. We've already spent 45 grams of carbs at our third meal. We only have 200 carbs for the day. So we've spent enough carbs. We gotta save carbs now. We only have like 10 grams of carbs left. That's not much. So for our fourth meal, just chicken by itself. I would throw in like a cup of green beans, maybe 2 cups of broccoli or some shit like that. Maybe a cup of green beans and chicken, a salad and chicken, you know, some low carb green veggies. So for our fourth meal, 7 ounces of chicken cooked. And then for our fifth and final meal before bed, a scoop of protein and a tablespoon of almond butter to make sure I hit those fats for the day. And as you know, there are a little carbs in almond butter, but that's fine. And there you go. I hit 198 grams of carbs for the day. Didn't even hit 200, but that's close enough. I hit 52 grams of fat. I didn't hit 225 grams of protein, but 222 is close enough. It's not about hitting the numbers perfectly. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to hit these numbers perfectly. The object is hitting them as close as possible. And that's the verdict of the day. Do you have to track macros to reach your fitness goals? No. But it makes things much more simple, and it gives you freedom for situations like this where you may want to go out to eat, or if you have to go out of town for the weekend and you're going to do a lot of eating out, I highly recommend tracking macros. But if you're a simple person, get your macros right, make a meal plan based off those macros, and just keep it simple by eating the same thing every day. It keeps shit very simple. You know, on Saturdays or some shit like that, go out and, you know, have you a cheat meal, maybe a burger and fries or some shit like that, and get back on the grind. You feel me? Or do a refeed day, you know, have a high carb day, stuff like that. But it just the object is being consistent, but most of all, keeping it less stressful and keeping shit very simple, okay? Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope some people learned something. If you're not familiar with MyFitnessPal, go to myfitnesspal.com and make your profile. You can track your macros on there. They even have an app you can use on your phone. Okay, you can actually scan products and you can type in like 2 servings and it'll go towards your diary. It's a very useful tool, man, to keep you consistent and to keep you on track. Anyway, don't forget, pullovers, February 3rd, 3 o'clock p.m. Central, new leggings, and we got the hooded stringers coming back in stock with a new color. Thank you guys for your support. More videos on the way. Don't forget to like my shit. Like my shit. Comment, subscribe, and holla back at your boy.
Get 30 of them bitches minimum.